This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Hey, hi, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Catching Up with April Lauren, actually, because god damn it, I need something positive in my life. Amber's ambering, and I don't want to deal with it right now. I know she's got a new video out, and we'll watch it. But April's been gone for a bit, so I thought, since somebody in my comment section was like, April's back, I was like, cool. So I wanted to see what she was up to. I love her hair, by the way. I think she has the prettiest hair. So I thought it would be good to check out and see what she was doing. And then I saw her thumbnail and I was like, heck yeah, she doing the damn thing. Look at her. So good job, April. For reals. I'm not being sarcastic. I think she's doing a great job. I will say that if you are watching my more recent videos, like within the past, three of them, I'm not feeling great, and I apologize for that. So if I seem a little off, it's because I'm still not feeling great. But we are trucking. We're trucking through, man. We're doing it. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It is hopefully not a train. It might be. Could be. So if I'm a little punchy, I apologize. But I'm excited to see April and find out what's going on. I have not reacted to this or watched it either. So there's that. It's got 23k views and she's got 72k subscribers. I feel like that's pretty good, given. I mean, it's 5 days old. Don't get me wrong. Shows you how much I've been paying attention. I don't know. I've been out. I'm out. I'm punchy. Let's do this. It's also got 2k likes, which for her I think is pretty good. I don't really pay that much attention to April's numbers, so I feel like it's good, but I could be wrong. But just going off of my eyeballs, she looks great compared to her heaviest, for one, and for two, the beginning of her surgery arc here. She had a duodenal. I did not say that correctly, but she had like a pretty hefty weight loss surgery done where they effectively just redid all of the plumbing. They just went in and was like, redo it all. And so she had a pretty major one done. Apparently it's a fairly common one as well, but it's still, her describing it's pretty major. She might tell us what kind it was because she's been pretty open about the type of surgery that she's had. So but I think it's been 6 months now. Has it been 6 months? 5 months. So almost 5 months since her last update. Let's scroll up here. I don't think I reacted to this one, her 6 months after weight loss surgery. So it's been almost a year then since her weight loss surgery was done. When did she have it done exactly? Let's see, 2 months, diving Sharks Cove, 7 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week. All right, so 11 months ago, was her first video about the weight loss surgery post. 1 week post off was 11 months ago. So 11 months ago, almost a year, now she's had the weight loss surgery. So I'm really excited to see what her update's going to be. I am going to speed her up, and I think I'm going to turn her up a tiny bit. Yeah. All right. I am going to speed her up a tiny bit. And if you hear the sounds of rain, that's because my window be open, and it's just going to have to be like that. I feel like she's one of the girls I can speed up to 1.5, but we're just going to start with 1.25. All the girls talk a little slow. Some of y'all say I talk slow, so sucks to be you, huh? Anyway, thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's been putting up with me during my trying times. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you if you hit the thumbs down button. There's like 12 of you. I appreciate every one of you. I'm sorry if I'm a little sassy. I really am sorry I'm a little sassy. I'm just kind of a little out of it. We may or may not be playing with cookies and milk today from Momo Slimes. I need to fix it. So we may or may not be playing with it. It might be too far gone, and I don't have any fixing agent for it, so it might be too sticky. Anyway, I may need something to play with. Anything else I need to say before we get on with this video? No, not that I can think of. I'm sure I'll come up with it as we go. But anyway, if you're not, I think I've already given you all of the information you need on, if you're not familiar with April. I will try to remember to link this video down below. I am really hoping for something positive here. April has struggled in the past with weight loss and maintaining weight loss, losing weight in general. And she has had her problems with transparency and honesty. And I know if you watch Chikara Transformations, or aka Alona, she has pointed out more than one occasion April's lack of transparency / honesty when it comes to her weight loss journey. So, you know, April's had her moments. She definitely has her history. So it's good to see her losing. It's good to see her doing what she wants to do and actually succeeding. And I think a lot of April's success this time, aside from the surgery, has been she's been taking long chunks away from the internet. Like I said, her last video was 5 months ago, and this is her first video in 5 months. So I think that's been very helpful for her. Again, the surgery definitely has helped. I mean, the surgery is doing some heavy lifting here, don't get me wrong. But I think not being focused on trying to be an internet personality and trying to do the weight loss on the internet, I think has definitely helped. I think part of the problem with a lot of the girls who claim that they want to do the internet, the weight loss on the internet, is the internet. I think they, in my personal opinion here, not a doctor, I think they get caught up in the attention that the internet gives them, and they stop focusing on the goal that they said they set, which was the actual health improvement or the weight loss, and they care more about the views and the internet and all that shit, and they lose track of the weight loss goal, assuming that was ever really a goal in the first place. We could debate that one back and forth all day. I think maybe this time it really is April's goal to lose the weight, because this is a very severe surgery from my point of view. This was a very severe surgery. Like I said, she got like the whole damn thing reworked. So anyway, let's see what she has to say. And this is only like a 17-minute video, so shouldn't take us too long. Let's go.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Wake Up Bright, where I share all the things that help me live each day a little brighter. I'm April Lauren, and this is my YouTube channel. I have been sharing my weight loss ventures for a long time, and I'll likely continue to do that.
She's been. I always say April's default face is like sad. She doesn't look sad anymore. She just looks a little scary now. I don't know. People tell me this is a Mormon thing. I don't. I went to school with Mormons. I almost married Mormon, so I don't know. I didn't grow up in it. I don't remember my Mormon friends being like this. But they weren't adults. We were all kids still. So I don't know. Maybe it is a Mormon thing. Like I said, didn't grow up Mormon, so I don't know.
In this video, I just want to say hi.
Hi.
And break the ice. I have not made videos in quite some time, so I feel very like, I don't know what to do with my hands. That's how I feel, like very awkward and uncomfortable. So, and yeah, that's where I'm at. So this is probably going to be a rambly one. Most of my videos.
Most of your videos are rambly, though. I'm not gonna lie about that one.
Are, and if you're here and you've been here, welcome back. I love you, and you're most likely here because you like that. And if you're here because you don't like that, well, bless your heart. Why are you here?
Well, well.
Like, so we're just gonna dive into all of my feelings, and
that was April at, well, that picture ago, that was April at her heaviest. This here is April when I first started watching her. It smells like a chocolate chip cookie. I think it's gonna be okay.
Whew, I feel a lot of pressure making this video. I have so many mixed feelings about sharing and not sharing my progress this past year. I wanted to share so bad, and then so I had weight loss surgery if you're new here, and it's right at a year. So I will be going to my 1-year doctor's visit, and I will be doing labs and everything to see where I'm at vitamin wise. I will say at about 9 months in, not quite, like it was like around 9 months, so it was a little before, I don't know when exactly it was. I don't have a YouTube journal to go back and look at, and I am a terrible journaler. If you can hear my dog drinking water, I'm sorry. There, right there. Just drinking it up. I don't know at what point it was, but I did start getting more energy. It took a long time for me to have just energy to live life, and I wouldn't say that it's the same energy as before. It definitely wasn't the same as I've had in times past, but it's everything I do doesn't exhaust me. And for a long time after weight loss surgery, everything I did, I feel like, made me feel so depleted. So I'm way more comfortable just living life and moving, and I'm so grateful for all of these little things that I'm able to do. And I am I'm so regretful that I haven't been vlogging this for myself. In so many ways, I'm just so sad that I don't have a video journal of this past year. And yeah, so I think part of it is that I haven't wanted to face myself on a regular basis, and I really have done a good job of avoiding that. I think just I go to work, I spend time with my husband, I read a lot of books, I spend a lot of time in my garden, and I spend a lot of time doing things at church, and all of these things.
I know they moved to Hawaii. There we go. And I know Hawaii has feral chickens. So my question is, because I'm fascinated by the concept of feral chickens, my question is, since she says garden, do you have feral chickens, April? I need to know this. Do you have feral chickens now?
These are wonderful things, and I find I don't spend that much time thinking about myself, and I don't want to spend a lot of time thinking about myself, but at the same time, it's like the surgery has done its job. I feel like I've lost a significant amount of weight.
You know, she says, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about myself, and she mentions that she's a terrible journaler, and she mentions how, well, she basically makes it sound like she doesn't like to think about herself, and I've always said I don't understand why April and Anna don't go to therapy. April especially, because, you know, April has, as I said, you know, a resting sad face. It's always been very clear to me that April is sad. Like, she's just miserable. She's fucking miserable all the time. And I think her weight is a byproduct of that sadness. I don't think her weight makes her sad. I think she's sad. I think she's overweight because she's sad. So I don't think losing weight is going to improve that sadness for her. And hearing her talk now, and how she's like, I don't like to reflect. I don't like to I don't like to look inside. I don't have a journal to look back on. She's like, I don't want to face myself. Just the language she's using here. I was kind of hoping that, like, maybe she had stepped away from YouTube and maybe had gotten like help. And I don't think she has. And that makes me sad. I'm a big advocate for mental health help, and it makes me sad that she won't go do that. And again, this is another thing that people tell me is a Mormon thing, and I don't understand why it's bad to go get mental help. But it's not. It's okay. Go talk to people who can help you. Because I've watched enough of April now to know that she does struggle, and she struggles really hard. Her husband is he active military? He's active enough that he gets deployed, and they've had to move now because of him. And that's not a bad thing. Like, that's just part of military life. She's a military wife. This is why they're in Hawaii. He got stationed in Hawaii, and that's why they moved like over a year ago now, to Hawaii. I mean, oh darn. But they had to move away from her family, so she moved away from her, what little support structure she had. They had to move away from that. And it, just moving in general is very stressful. And I know that she went through a bit of problems when she did move, and when she moved, that's when she had the surgery. So, and I'm sure the surgery alone probably screws with a lot of shit, because like your whole digestive tract and all that gets rerouted, and they call your stomach your second brain for a reason, and yada, yada, yada. So I'm sure she went through quite a bit just from all of that, right? But just hearing her talk right here, talking about how, she doesn't like to reflect, and she doesn't like to look back, and she doesn't like to look inward, like, it makes me worried for her. And it does make me wonder, like, even when she's doing well, how well is she doing, like, mentally? Clearly, physically, she seems to be doing well, but this is, again, my personal opinion. I don't think she's depressed because she's fat. I think she's fat because she's depressed. And it's one of those things where if she's not addressing the problem that is why she became fat, I don't know how successful she'll be in the long run. But again, not a doctor. Maybe she's fine. She's only a year out from her surgery. I've never had weight loss surgery, so I just watched Doctor Now. So that's all I've got. So there's that. Anyway.
I feel like I could have lost more, and when I got that energy back, I didn't necessarily seize it as an opportunity to like really dig in and like do the other things that lead to weight loss. And I'm gonna start. So I'm excited for that. I don't know how I will be sharing that, but I intend to share, although I intended to share this past year. And so I'm very uncommittal, I think, in going forward. And it depends on how sharing affects me. And I think a lot of that just has to do with like my own mental toughness, like my own strength. Like, can I let negativity roll off, or am I going to grab hold of it and use it as like a repetitive thing that is in my head, like that people think this about you and people think this about you, and like doing that is so unhealthy. I think the reverse is true too. Like, going through life thinking that none of those negative things are true also isn't healthy, because I'm human.
What?
And like doing that is so unhealthy. I think the reverse is true too. Like, going through life thinking that none of those negative things are true also isn't healthy, because I'm human and I make a lot of mistakes, and I think I do things that are awesome sometimes. I think a lot of times if I'm doing something that's really good, I have a tendency not even to acknowledge that it's good, though.
I think I get what she's saying. I think I get what she's saying. I think she's saying she doesn't give herself praise for the things that she does. I think that's what she's saying. I'm hoping that's what she's saying.
I tend to be hypercritical. So anyway, I'm just rambling on here. I think too, being 40 is so interesting, because it's like growing up, you have these dreams of like what you want your life to look like and how you want your life to be and like what it means. And I feel like there's more nowadays. Like, there's more.
How many reactors are 40? Like, how many? I need to know this. How many of us reactors are over 40, right? I don't mean to be mean, but I think Mama Goob and I are. I'm just going out on a limb. I could be very wrong. I think Mama Goob and I are over 40. And I mean by over 40, like we're in our mid 40s. I know Milk Tea and I are over 40. because I think Milk Tea just turned 42, which, by the way, fabulous year. But like, none of these girls are over 40, like, or they're just turning 40. And it's so weird. It's so weird. It really is weird. It's just strange listening to everybody turn 40. Because it's such a weird... It's just strange listening to people turn 40 and wax on about how it's like... I don't know, it's like the Buddha waking up under the tree, you know? It's just like enlightenment has occurred, and I'm just like, okay. All right, yeah, cool. Yeah, you're 40. Welcome to your 40s, I guess. Join the club. But I'm also just kind of struck with like the huge differences between like mid 40s and early 40s, because I'm just constantly struck with the vast differences between like even the tail end of Gen X. Like I am the tail fucking end of Gen X. Like I could pass as an early millennial, like an elderly millennial, and actual millennials. Like I am always just dumbfounded with the amount of significant differences between those two generations, and it's shocking to me sometimes. So I just wonder, like, how many people who are actively reacting to the majority of the girls in girl world, how many of us are like full on Gen X, you know, or even just like that weird, what are we called? Zennials? Are we Zennials? What the fuck do we call that crossover generation? How many of us are that cusp generation too? Because I'll take that as well. But like, I'm just curious, because my reactions to some of the shit that these girls say is completely different than the reaction of a lot of the other people who are full on millennials and younger, which I expect from like young millennials and Gen Z and that kind of stuff, because y'all live in a completely fucking different world. And I'm not saying that in like a mean way. Like, y'all live in a different fucking world. But like, I don't know, it just strikes me so hard sometimes. And this is what you get when I'm like 2 steps away from being completely unfiltered. But let's go.
Books, I feel like, about this stage of life, and there's more visible people who are visible, and they're like, you know, I'm 40 and thriving. Like, I don't know, there's more things out there now, or even older. I think in like the throes of like in the moment of youth, I never really looked at what I wanted life to feel like or be like here. And it almost is like I thought life would be over at this point.
I got a grave in the backyard, you know? I went and dug it the other day. Fucking woke up yesterday and I was like, shit, I'm 40. I forgot to dug my grave today. No, you people. Oh, God. What you do now? You go and you get yourself a nice sharp axe. You know, the average person lives. I'm sorry. Go on. I'm sorry. Keep going. I know how my grandmother felt now. I really do. And like, I get it. I get why she laughs at me. I laughed. She's no longer with us. I get why she laughed at me now. And I get it. I get it now. I do. And someday you too will laugh at this moment in your life. This moment will happen to you as well. And you will laugh and you will go, oh, I get why Tiny was laughing now.
Not over as in I wouldn't be here, but like, it's like, you know, that stuff's not for me. When the opposite is true, a lot of people, you know, they're in the middle of raising their babies and then they're going to have empty nests and they start a whole new type of life, which that's not going to be us. I joke around with my mom because my mom will talk about how old she is. My mom was young when she had us. And I'm like, Mom, if I'm blessed to have a baby in the next couple years, like, I'm going to have a high schooler when I'm your age. So there's that. Like, so anyway,
I have friends who are. How old was I when she was 46? I can't do the math because I don't exactly remember how old I was, but she had her first child when she was 46. And that was before I left Indiana. So, yep, a while ago now, don't get me wrong. So she's in her 60s at least. You know, I just like, and both of her children were perfectly fucking healthy. Her first kid was in her late 40s. Her second one, she was either just 50 or she was 52. One of those numbers is in my head for some reason. She had 2 perfectly fine pregnancies, perfectly healthy pregnancies. Now, I know she's probably an anomaly, but whatever. I'm just saying it can happen. I'm just tired of people like, oh, my life is over. You're going to be fine. It will be fine. If you're insistent on popping something out of your body, you can do it, I promise. Probably. But at the same time, like, adoption exists. Like, if you're that hell-bent on raising people, adoption exists. Just putting it out there as an option.
Yeah. I don't really have a purpose for this video, if that isn't abundantly clear. I do feel like once I start filming,
idea, by the way,
then hopefully I'll be more able to film. It's like breaking the ice. I didn't sit down and I'm like, this is what I want to communicate. I actually was approached for a sponsorship opportunity, and that gave me a little gust, and it really made me think about how silly it is for me not to be filming. Not for the sponsorship specifically, although that's part of it. Like, who wouldn't want to help their family when they're able to? Like, with my husband and myself, like, why would I not want to do that? Or like, you know, travel is sometimes hard because it's very expensive to travel, period, for everybody. But if I could do something that makes it more easy or more affordable for me to go and spend time with my family, why wouldn't I do that? And I'm like, is it pride? Is it this? And I don't know. I don't know. But the more important things, I think, is that sharing my bits of my life here on YouTube, I'm so uncomfortable, and I just want to, like, I started to reach forward and turn the video off, but I did that like a few times, just like with saying hello, and I'm not allowed to do that anymore. Feel like when I started, I didn't know if anyone would ever actually watch any of my videos, but going back to the purpose of it was, though, that those people who felt the things that I was feeling wouldn't feel so alone, because I venture to say the thoughts and the negative things, even my deepest, darkest, like, thoughts and negative feelings, my fears, shame that I allow to creep in, like, those things it's not unique to me and my life experience. And I do feel that sharing them, hopefully it allows those of you who may be experiencing similar feelings or have felt them to let it go, to be like, you know, oh, like, and maybe most of you already know that everybody feels these things, but I certainly didn't expect to get to 40 and be like looking into a great void. And that's kind of what I feel. I feel like I'm at 40, and on one hand I'll talk about things and joke, like I was sharing with my mom, whether we adopt or we have, or, you know, we do IVF and have, like, whatever we do to have kiddos, like, there's a whole life, but it will look nothing like the vision that I had in my youth of being a mom. And my mom was so very young, and I loved that. As a kiddo, I loved the closeness.
First off, I hate the word kiddo. Secondly, I can get what she's saying. Like, the vision that she had for herself when she was whatever age she was when she had this vision is not the vision that is not the life that she's living. I get that point. Like, okay, I get that. I can understand that. My generation was fed the whole line of, you go to school, you go to college, you get married, you buy a house, you have 2.5 kids, you raise a dog, you know, so on and so on. That's the great American dream. And, like, there are a lot of people in my generation that feel like they are complete and absolute failures because they don't have a job, or they don't have a career job. They don't own a home. They don't have the 2.5 kids. They're not married. A lot of them have partners, but they're not married. Like, a lot of my generation had to, like, redefine what success even looks like, because my generation wasn't able to live up to what our parents' generation defined success as. But yet we were fed that, we were force fed that shit as kids. So I understand what she's saying about, you know, by the time I was X age, I envisioned that I was supposed to be doing Y, right? So I get that, because I have a lot of friends. I was a fucking weird person, okay? And I'm sure people are gonna be like, I was a weird person too. No, I get you, I feel you. But I have a lot of friends who had a lot of like problems reconciling their lived reality with the reality that they thought they were supposed to be living. And that sounds like what she's doing right now. So I can understand what she is saying. Personally, I don't have that experience, but I can understand what she is saying because I've watched friends of mine go through it. I personally have like my own weird little markings of like where I should have been at certain points in my life that I did not achieve, but that's also because when I was 8, I wanted to be a barbarian. So, you know, to be that as you will. So I get what she's saying there, and I know I came off a little harsh there at the beginning. I still think y'all need to chill the fuck out. I couldn't wait to be 40, to be perfectly honest with you. I have always wanted to be 40. I'm actually getting a little bummed that, like, it dawned on me the other day that, I mean, I've still got plenty of time in my 40s, but eventually I'm not going to be 40. That kind of bums me out a little bit. I have wanted to be 40 my whole fucking life. 40's great, man. But yeah, so there's that. Anyway. But yeah, I get the whole disillusionment, I think is the word I'm looking for. I get that whole disillusionment part of it. My partner goes through that, actually. He has these whole ideas of where his life is supposed to be at the age that he's at, and he's not. And it's not his fault. It's not that he didn't work for it. I mean, shit, he's more successful than I am, honestly. But you just can't. It is impossible to have achieved what our generation was told we were supposed to have achieved at these points in our lifetime. It's just not achievable for most people, especially he and I. We're just not from the social stratification that we needed to be from in order to have achieved the bullshit, you know, house, 2 kids. And, well, first off, we didn't want kids. And secondly, you know, the house and the Hamptons and bullshit, blah, 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 and all that good shit. And we're both college educated. We did the college shit. We did what we were supposed to do, and we still don't get to have all the happy little endings. That doesn't exist. So, you know, the sooner you like realize that it's all rigged, the happier you will be. But anyway, yeah, I was just trying to say, like, I sympathize with where she's saying, where she's going with that one. I don't know what this has to do with anything. This is a very rambly video. And considering I am like, yep, this is gonna be a weird one.
I think that's just partly who my mom is. Like, the things that I love about my mom so much are youthful things that she still has now. So going back to, I'm at this point in life, and I think, you know, sometimes people get to this point maybe earlier, maybe later, and it's like, well, what's next? Like, what is this life?
Okay, look, I am desperately trying to get this slime back into the container that I got it out of, which has been a very bad idea. I should not have taken it out. I would show you a picture, but it really just kind of looks like dog vomit now. And I'm going to pause while I put the slime back into the container, because otherwise it's going to continue to distract me, and that wasn't the goal. The goal was to give my hands something to do while I listened to her ramble, and now it's just like spreading across my desktop, and I need to fix it. So I will be right back. This is not like a problem with Momo's slimes or anything. This is what it looks like right now. The problem is I let it sit way too long, and it has well, first off, it's separated. For those of you who give a shit about my slime collection, it's separated, and it needs to have what is that called? The setting stuff. Anyway, it's borax and water. I need to hit it with some more borax and water. Activator. It needs to be activated again. because you can see it's just a little too gooey. But it smells. It smells so good. It smells exactly like cookie dough, just like the best cookie dough. So I really wanted to play with it because I was feeling like cookies, and I don't have any cookies. But yes, so I do highly recommend. I need to get some more slime. I don't have enough apparently, but yeah, I do like Momo's stuff. This is one of their Christmas flavors that came out. They're Santa's milk and cookies. But anyway, I'll get that reactivated for the next time I play with it, and it doesn't grow on my desk. Anyway, back to April. My bad.
I feel at times, not so much right now, but it's so easy to lean into that purposelessness, and then life just goes by. But there's such beauty, I think, in just the daily routine of life, and there's beauty in vulnerability and sharing our experience, even the bad stuff with others. And some of it, I'm not saying anything I've shared is bad. It's not bad to be 40, and it's not bad to feel, I think, the things that I feel right now. I approached life so hopeful, and I feel like early on I had so much fight for life. Like when I look at my high school ages and what life was like, and then going to school and like making those things happen, I think I had like this thirst and like this vision, and
Got a thirst for life. Sorry.
And 100% I've let that girl down. And yet I think in the opposite direction, I've done more than that girl ever would have imagined that I could do, that I would be capable of doing. So that's pretty cool to think about. And I don't know, how long have I, this is about 15 minutes of me rambling right now. I imagine I'll probably cut out like long pauses or like things that I never circle back to, because I'm pretty sure I can't do that actually, because I'm pretty sure I've started like 50 thoughts and never circled back to. But this is me, and I do want to share.
Look, man, I know I do some hard cuts, and currently I have an editor who does much better cuts than I do. You can tell when my editor's editing and when I'm editing. Anyway, other than the credits, because my edits. Anyway, that's some rough cuts, man. Just saying.
I do want to catalog. I want to be able to look back. I don't go back and watch old videos, but just like looking at the thumbnails of videos, my mom and I were talking the other day about pictures, because she's always been a big picture taker, and pictures are very important to her, and they're important.
Dude, I have so many pictures. The worst thing that ever happened to me was the ability to take digital pictures.
To me too, I always, I'll take pictures of random trees, like way back in the day, and going back to high school, the disposable cameras and take pictures of trees. I have all of this stuff, and I'm like, my goodness, I worked for like minimum wage, and I was probably spending like I was working like hours to go take bad photos of random trees. But when I look at those photos, especially the good photos, it takes me back, and I can smell the air and like just feel it. Like it takes me back to that point in life. It's like I can visit. I don't know.
I am the same way. I took all kinds of stupid pictures with my old, even like the disposable ones. I would buy disposable ones to take pictures with. And God, I've got so many dumb pictures of things, but I think they're fabulous pictures. But like, where was I going with this? Oh God, I had this ancient fucking digital camera, like one of the original ancient fucking digital cameras. It looked like some kind of like sci-fi, like horizon scanner from Star Wars, not Star Trek. It was a cool little thing. I wish I still had that too, because I would love to have like, it's like, remember like old tech? I wish I had like certain pieces of old tech that I could just have still functioning. It took like the crappiest picture. Of course, back then it was like, ooh. Today, it's the crappiest picture ever, but I still have the files from a lot of that stuff, and I still look at the pictures that I took off of that camera, and I'm like, I think that blob is a tree. But anyway, I still have those files, and I'm just like, man, I remember taking this picture with that camera. So I don't know. I get what she's saying with that, even though like half of those pictures I can't tell what the fuck I was taking a picture of.
And it gives different perspective.
And Polaroid pictures. Polaroids, man.
and I appreciate that. And I think filming these videos, it helps me as I go through. And if I focus on that as opposed to how it's been hurtful, I think that I'll be strong enough to continue to post regardless of the negativity out there. And sometimes I'm like, why can't I just be stronger? Like, why can't I just be stronger? Why can't I just get mad? Because I don't really even get that mad. When I do, I talk myself out of the feelings of being mad. It's very Pollyanna of me, I guess. I'm able to see the people side of most anything. And
I don't think that's Pollyanna at all. Why do they? Okay.
and yeah.
Ignore it. You, Anna, Alex, Amber. Remind me not to give, if I ever have the opportunity to name a child, which I probably won't, don't give them A names. Ignore it. People are gonna talk shit. Period. End of discussion. You can be the most likable person on the internet. I said this to Alex. Because, you know, she listens to me. We have face-to-face conversations. My point is, you can be the most likable. You can be the fucking Pope. Well, okay, anyway, my point is, you can be the most likable person on the internet. People will hate you. Someone is going to hate you because you are wearing this green shirt. Okay? People are going to hate you because you have whatever shade of lipstick that you are wearing. You know, someone is going to come for you because of your eyebrows. All right? Because there are people who cannot for some reason function when people have eyebrows. It seems to be like the thing, apparently. The amount of hate Amber's ex-girlfriend got for her weird eyebrows, I don't even understand. But apparently, that was like the thing. That's my point, though. Like, it doesn't matter. You can be an actual saint. People will hate you. So why do you care? Just let it go. You can't win. Let it go.
So, but I don't give myself that same grace. Like, I do get mad at myself, and that's not the greatest. But I know I'm not alone. I'm not the only one who does that. So, going back, I started talking about hitting that 9 months mark,
So
and
weird.
I got more energy, but the scale definitely slowed. Like, it had from 6 months to 9 months, it had already like slowed down, and then from 9 until now, it's like crawling. So it's not that there's anything wrong or that my surgery didn't work. My surgery, I think, has done its job, and it's up to me to like enforce better habits. I'm not going to have more energy until I start moving more, I think. And I may have said these exact same things before to y'all. I definitely wasn't in a place at 6 months where I was still going through it, getting sick a lot, and just not having energy. And
I can imagine she got sick quite a bit just because, like, again, from the sound of her surgery, she basically just has a straight tube from her esophagus to her pooper. From the sounds of it. I'm being graphic and I apologize, but like, there's no stop. So my point is she's just not getting enough. Again, not a doctor. It just sounds like she's just doesn't have the opportunity to get enough nutrients. So I imagine she probably does get sick pretty quickly because she just she's malnourished. In my opinion, not a doctor. This is just me going off of the things that she said. So I think back when we very first started following her weight loss surgery, though, there were several people who mentioned that they had had a similar or the same surgery that she had. Because again, it's my understanding this is not an uncommon one to have. So clearly, it's something that it's common enough, so they know how to give it to you and not severely affect your health in a negative way. Obviously. So, her saying that she needs to reinforce good habits a year out from the surgery, that is a little concerning to hear, in my opinion. Again, not a doctor. So, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about hearing her say that. It seems like at this point, you should maybe have those habits down, or at least have coping mechanisms in place for that. I just feel like that's how, I just feel like that should be. But you know, a lot of the surgeries in America, I don't know how this is in other countries, but I know a lot of the weight loss surgeries here in America, they don't come with any kind of backup. Like you get your surgery and that's it. You don't get any kind of therapy to find out, you know, why you have the issues that you have, why you're 600 pounds. You don't get any of that. And it doesn't seem like you get any kind of like complementary therapy along with the surgery, like nutrition, what not to eat, how to put a meal plan together. They just kind of tell you, eat 100 grams of protein and prioritize protein. And they don't really seem to distinguish between like whole protein and like protein junk food. So that's why you see, because she was doing a lot of like, she was doing a lot of like protein shit too. Because I remember going on a tirade about that at least once. And I feel like if she had access to, or had therapy basically with a nutritionist, I feel like maybe we wouldn't be hearing her talk like this right now. But that's just me. That's my personal opinion on the matter. Again, I've never had any kind of weight loss surgery, so I'm just going off of that. But even then, like, when you watch 600 Pound Life, even with Dr. Now, like, they don't always go see the shrink, you know? They don't always go see the therapist. And they don't always have, they very, very, very rarely have a nutritionist come on the show. Now, I don't know if that's, we just don't see the nutritionist every single episode, but I can like count on one hand the number of times I can recall seeing the therapist on an episode. Again, I watch these through Shauna Steele, so they are pretty heavily edited. But at the same time, like, I honestly cannot recall more than maybe 5 or 6 times out of all the episodes I've seen on Shauna Steele's channel, which I've been watching him for like 2 years at this point, at least. I can't recall seeing a nutritionist come on that show to help people out. And even then, the nutritionist just kind of comes in, walks to their pantry and goes, "You shouldn't be eating this." And then that's it. There's no, "Hey, let's sit down and make a meal plan," or let's go to the grocery store and let me help you learn how to read a label, or anything like that. Like, we don't get that kind of, I consider that like medical care and or therapy. We don't get that kind of care along with our weight loss surgeries here in the States. I don't know what that's like elsewhere. So if that's different in like Canada or Britain, I don't know. And it just, the way she's talking right now, because she's 11 months out from her surgery, it feels like it's just kind of, they're just being set up for failure sometimes, because she doesn't sound like she knows how to eat. She doesn't sound like she's learned any kind of coping mechanisms to deal with whatever the fuck it is that has allowed her to get to the weight that she was at. She's like, I think she's shorter than I am. She is a short woman. I think she's shorter than I am, and I'm like 5'0". So when she puts weight on, even if she doesn't get to be the same size as like Amber and the other girls, like, she doesn't have a lot of height to put a lot of weight on, kind of a thing. I don't know. I'm rambling.
But once I hit about 9 months, like, that's out the window. Like, I feel like about 9 months, like, I could have started implementing better habits and more consistent habits.
See, why wasn't someone holding her hand? I feel like this is one of those times where you should have had someone holding your hand. I feel like that's part of recovery. Am I crazy? You know, I feel like after any other surgery, like open heart surgery, they hold your hand when you recover from open heart surgery. I mean, they're not like baby stepping you through shit, but you go through like physical therapy, right? They don't just like throw you out on the street and they're like, sink or swim, bitch. You know, it's like, why don't they give you the same? Is that not part of recovery, is learning how to eat? Why are they not holding your hand through that part? I don't get it. I don't know.
And
I'm not blaming her. I'm really not. I feel like at a certain point, yes, she needs to take responsibility for this. But at the same time, like, why isn't this part of the procedure? Why isn't this part of the procedure? Why is learning how to eat? Why isn't this part of the procedure? I'm sorry. I don't get it. This is honest to God one of the reasons why I'm like, I have personally never even considered weight loss surgery, because I don't feel like it's a holistic treatment. I feel like it's just kind of like a, you know, you go in, you get evaluated, you talk about it with your doctor, they cut you open, they stitch you back up, and they send you on your merry way. And I'm like, well, cool, but what if the reason why you're fat has a psychological element to it? Like, if it does, then yeah, you're gonna lose weight until you learn to eat around it, and then you out eat the surgery, which is why the surgeries fail 90% of the time. Not 90% of the surgeries fail. 90% of the time when the surgeries do fail, the patient has learned to eat around the surgery because they never dealt with the issue as to why they were fat in the first place. Right? It's kind of my point.
that's what I want to focus on right now. And so we'll talk more about that. One thing I also love about having videos is when I say stuff like that and then I go back and look in the past, I've been able to be like, oh, I'm like, I don't have good habits, but like, look at the habits. And now I don't have anything. Like, I don't have anything to go back and look at. I have pictures of my flowers. I have my camera roll in my phone is like all of my bougainvillea. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun growing things, and that's good. But I've got to get the weight off and not get complacent, because I feel good. I feel comfortable, and I don't need to stay here where I feel comfortable, where I feel.
And here's the other problem with April, and why I keep like getting a little bit exasperated with like the medical system and the April surgery here. April has proven that she is not good at this. April has proven that she is not good with making up her own diet and sticking to a diet and making up her own goals and sticking to goals. She's not good at this. She has tried to do this exact thing in the past and it does not work for her. She has failed every single time. Like all of the girls, she has failed every single time. The only thing that has worked has been this surgery. So if 11 months out the surgery is stalling and she's talking like she has talked every single time leading up to the surgery, it's not a good sign, in my opinion. This is not a good sign. And I hate to be like, doom, but past this prologue, and she's already talking about how she sees her weight loss stalling now and how she's going to start doing the same shit she was doing before the weight loss surgery that didn't work in the first place. Guys, where's her nutritionist? Where's her therapist? Where's the guidance that she desperately needs from like professionals to assist her in not failing? Why is this not part of the weight loss surgery procedures? Like, why? I'm sorry if I'm rambling and I'm sorry if I'm being negative, because again, I've never had weight loss surgery. I've never gone through the procedure. I don't know all of the steps. I know several of you have. So again, apologies, but where I'm sitting right now, it feels like this is a setup to failure. And it kind of feels unfair. And I feel very frustrated. And I feel frustrated because I know April can't do it on her own. And I feel like I'm getting ready to watch her fucking spiral right back to where she was, before she had that goddamn surgery 11 months ago, and I'm kind of upset about it. I wanted to watch this video and I wanted to be like, fuck yeah, April's lost, well, you know, at least maybe 100 pounds at this point. I'm like, yeah, cool, go girl. And now all I'm hearing is she's preparing to gain it all back. I needed a happy moment, because now I'm gonna go watch Amber's new video, and I'm not going to be happy after that. Anyway, all right, there's like a minute left of this video. Let's go.
Good. I need to get to a healthy weight so that I
Okay.
always feel good, and I need to get to a healthy weight to give myself the best chance at feeling good and able.
You say this every fucking video. Your hair looks great, by the way.
And on that, we are going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I hope that
And whatever this thing is in your window in the background, I need it to go away because it draws my attention every fucking time it changes color. Okay, I'm over it. Go.
it. I hope that this helps me feel more comfortable going forward, and I am able to make YouTube videos and share my struggle, which hopefully will be helpful to at least one other person, you know. And I'm grateful for all of you and the love and support that you've given me over the years. And I will see you next time. Bye.
Okay, look. I hope I don't see her again for another 5 months. I hope when I see her again in another 5 months, she's down another 50 to 100 pounds. I hope this is her MO, is to just be gone and to come back pulling a Nikocado avocado each time. I hope that's what's going to be happening from here on out. I have a bad feeling that's not what's going to be happening from here on out, but you know, fingers crossed and all that good shit. I don't like how this video sounded. I don't like where this video is going. I apologize for being a Debbie Downer. This whole video was a rambling mess. Her videos typically are. This was no exception. Sorry about my ranting about being 40. Y'all need to grow up and get over it. It's gonna happen if it hasn't already. We haven't gotten to the point where we're either A, de-aging, or B, stopped aging. So when we do, though, let me know. That's all I've got for you guys. This was kind of frustrating. I was really excited and hoping to see something positive. If you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and put a pineapple. What's Hawaii known for? Pineapple is not. What's Hawaii? Coconuts? No. All right, I'm going to be culturally ignorant and I apologize. Go ahead and put a pineapple or a coconut down in the comments section. I apologize. I'm not on all cylinders right now. I'll let you know what you guys think down below. Apologies for people who have had the surgeries and who know way more about them than I do, and the things that I got wrong about them. Again, not a doctor, never had the surgeries, probably never will have the surgeries because I am terrified of surgery and that kind of a thing. So anyway, I'll see everybody in the next one. I'm a little bummed and I gotta go watch Amber now, so bye.
This is my outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.